And internet safety expert Sue Scheff to the show. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you do have a personal connection to being shaming online?
Yes, I do. In 2003, I was nearly taken down. By 2006, I was both emotionally and financially crippled by what one disgruntled client had done to me. So I'm very familiar with it. And I won the landmark case down in Broward County. It was an $11.3 million jury verdict for what was done to me.
And I've heard of cases, there's a famous gamer, a female gamer, who became the victim of a lot of cyberbullying because she was a female, designing video games, and for none other reason they started attacking her, and she also had to take a lawsuit. And it wasn't, and her story is kind of like it wasn't being taken very seriously. I think one of the judges in the case said, well, can't you just go find another job?
Right, and that happened to me years ago too, when I was on a television show and a therapist said to me, can't you just move on from it? And this type of verbal violence is nothing that you can just move on from because it's magnified by a million. Everybody that's out there being cyberbullied, cyber harassed, it's not isolated to just your school hall or just your school bus or just your neighborhood. It's magnified by a million because everybody's watching. The world is on you. So when your name is put into that Google box, you're passed over, especially if you're a business owner or trying to build a career. Everyone sees it and they'll just move on to the next educational consultant, the next lawyer, the next landscaper. You're pretty much destroyed online.
Now, I think one of the first people this ever happened to was back in '98 with Monica Lewinsky, and she actually wrote the foreword to your book.
Yes, she did.
And she spoke in a TED Talk that was also very controversial. Some people empathized with her and some people, again, didn't. It was kind of a new opportunity to re-attack her.
Right, but Monica is extremely passionate. I think she's one of the strongest advocates out there for cyberbullying. And I think what you have to understand is, for people like myself and people like Monica, and she said it in her own TED Talk, when we were of an adult age experiencing this type of darkness in our lives, reaching that hole where you are on the brink of wanting to end your life, though we would never end our life, like when she said in her TED Talk that her parents would actually sit by the bathroom to make sure that she didn't take her own life. We understand the Tyler Clementes, the Rebecca Sedgwicks, the Amanda Todds. I get it, being humiliated to death, because that's what cyber shaming does to you. So we understand it, and this is why we advocate so strongly. And when Monica read my manuscript, before she agreed to do the foreword, she said, let me read your manuscript. And she said not only was she so impressed with the manuscript, she wanted to be more part of it, and she's also in chapter 7, if you read the book.
All right, quickly, let's give 3 tips to prevent online shaming.
Well, number 1, you have to be mindful of what you share. You have to write as if the world is watching. Everyone remembers, whether it's the Sony hackings or the Ashley Madison leaks. More recently, we had the Democratic WikiLeaks. People have to understand, even if you have every confidentiality post on the bottom of an email, there's still that distinct possibility that your comments, your emails are going to go viral. Don't risk it. If you don't want the world to see it, don't write it on any type of technical device.
Oh, that's really good advice. It's always good advice. Everybody knows
right,
it, but
everybody
unfortunately
knows
don't.
it.
Now, you're going to be at the Barnes & Noble at the Town Center. When you go and you speak, do you have people come up to you and share their experiences? And,
all the time.
Are you able to console them or lift them up? Because I'm sure they're coming to you for that empathy and understanding that you said you and Monica Lewinsky share.
Right. Well, it's not only that they feel that they've been validated. They feel that validation. When my second book came out, Google Bomb, I received not hundreds, but thousands of emails like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Because everyone looks at this as if it's youth only when it's adults
too.
Only.
And that could damage your career as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for coming. And we feel so terrible you went through this, but thank you so much for sharing your experiences and educating people out there. Now, she's going to be at the Barnes & Noble at the Town Center tomorrow evening from 7 to 8:30 for a book discussion and signing, and you can order her book at ShameNationBook.com, Amazon, or pick up a copy at the Barnes & Noble or wherever books are sold.
All right, coming up.